Welcome to Live Darts. We're here at a very special, I'm going to call it episode because it's going to be quite a long one. We're here at the Junior Darts Corporation in Bristol and we've got the Director of Operations, Darren, with us. Darren, thanks for inviting us along.
No problem.
I've had a look round. It's a real special place. It's an absolute fascination for me looking around what kids have got for darts these days.
Well, we needed a home, so that's the first thing. It's a way of us being able to have all of our aspects in one place. So like today, I've been able to show you around all the dirty laundry of the Junior Darts Corporation, but primarily somewhere that is active. So it is a working academy, it's a working office for us, and then all the other aspects of junior darts regarding the handicap systems. We can show people technology they use, but also the little ones, the Green Zone Warrior setups. You know, we've got rooms for everything, you know, as part of our brands. All of our brands are on show.
The JDC's come a long way in a short space of time as well. Obviously, we're going to speak to the chairman in a little while, and he'll go into that more. But from one academy in Bristol to where you are now, and it's 2010 first open.
Yes.
So in only 8 years, it's remarkable.
I think the growth of the sport's been remarkable, hasn't it? And it's not that we're riding on a wave, but it certainly helps. When you're working with communities, essentially an academy is a community project. You need to have something that everybody can sort of work together on, and that's where the routines that these guys do week in, week out. Every academy is different. They may operate slightly differently, but they're all affiliated to us, doing the same scoring mechanism. So there is something that they can all do that's identical and measurable. But yeah, the sport has helped and made life a little easier for us to get out there and promote the game at a junior level.
I say there's a couple of notable names as well that we know through social media now, which didn't exist when I was a kid. The likes of Jared Cole, that's come through the JDC ranks and now is almost a household name within darts fraternity. Yeah,
I think that is, the academies are the heroes. They're the local academies are the heroes. However, since 2015, we've operated a junior tour for under 18s, and that has become a bit of a beast, yes. And some of those top players are attending. We're seeing some huge progress. We started with 6 tours to try and get out the message of the JDC and promote it around the country, and actually it's become an event in its own right. This year we're going to have 10 tours as opposed to the 6, as opposed to the 8 this year. So we're growing all the time, and people like your Jared Coles and your Jim Mostons and your Bradley Brooks and people like that are obviously attending, and they're getting that experience, winning mentality, and off they go to development tour or even pro tour.
I'll say this, obviously I played as a kid. I wish something like this was around when I was that age, because we literally got slung straight in to play with.
We hear that a lot.
and all these open. So for kids to be able to play against people of their own age and ability and work up is a remarkable system to have in place.
Yeah, there's nothing better than playing with your peers, and also, you know, the ability to create friendship, and also like a colleague almost. They're attending the same events regularly. The parents get to know each other, so you've got quite a strong relationship between some of these players. They sort of almost look out for each other. We've noticed that on the development tour. We've got a scholarship program in place with the PDPA, and every year we provide them free access almost to the development tour. Give it a go. It doesn't cost them a penny, thanks to the PDPA. That we've noticed is that they sort of stick together, and from their previous year or two with us on the tour, they know each other, they know each other's game, they're constantly playing against each other. So to go forward into the professional game as a group or as friends, it's a good starting block for them, as opposed to just walking into the development tour one day and just trying to give it a go.
Long term, would you like it to be, obviously you start them at a young age, like you say, with the Green Zone, going to Green Zone, to the JDC tour, into the development tour, challenge tour, pro tour? Is that the aim, to have it all unified in one long term? Yeah,
I mean, I firmly believe the stepping stones are there now, and that's thanks to the work that we've done, but also our partners. You know, the PDC putting in the development tour in the first place, allowing us to have somewhere to feed our players. I think, yep, you're right. From the development tour of our development tour, which is our under 10s really, those players have got the academy to start with, they've got the development tour, and they make their way through our tour into, you know, the future of the game. We'd love to be holding on to under 18s, absolutely, yeah, that's our business. And if we can provide many opportunities for those players, then I think that's where we could be.
You said holding on to the under-18 players. I get what you mean with that. So maybe working closely with the PDC.
Yes.
Long term, would it be a fact that maybe they can't play on the PDC development tour until they're 18? So then from 16 to 18, they have to play on the JDC tour?
Potentially. That's just something that maybe I think we need to be. That's you. I think it's something that we need to be in a position to be able to offer, you know, the same riches almost. You know, we've got to have probably 20 tours in place. We've got to have the infrastructure in place for that. It's too early. However, it seems logical that an organisation like us just totally deals with under-18s. Yeah.
I'd say because for the 16 to 18 year olds going straight into the PDC mentality, I've been to a couple of their development tours. It's quite cutthroat because you've got the likes of Dimitri van den Berg there, who was a World Championship quarter-finalist. So to separate them going forward may be better for their development.
Yes, but you could look at it another way, as I experienced this weekend. One of our scholarship players in Keeling K, 16 years old, from Plymouth, he had to face Dimitri on 2 occasions. And he'll take a lot away from that, I'm sure. I could tell by his body language, I could see his face, the excitement, but also the peril of probably coming up against such a wonderful player. So it is, to coin the phrase, swings and roundabouts, but I can see the benefits of that, but I can also see the benefits of us holding on to them longer for a more winning mentality at their level, as opposed to, as you quite rightly say, Jeffrey Desvan, Dimitri van den Berg, Max Hobson, people like that. That's a tough ask. But then the game is tough, and the riches and the rewards are massive. So potentially, perhaps they should be working that hard for it. I don't know.
Obviously, busy time of year for yourself as well.
Yep.
A lot coming on. You've got the Euros, the World Cup, and ending.
We're like that, but the legs are going underneath. Yeah.
With ending up with the Junior World Championships on the Alexandra Palace stage is a special experience for these lads.
Well, if the camera's showing that behind, then yeah, absolutely. You have to have in your game the sort of the icing on the cake. And for me, the JDC is about opportunity. It's not about we're going to give them £1 million for winning, but the opportunity to grace that stage, for me to then hand 2 players to Mr. Fairhurst and say, look, here are our finalists, and they're treated that way from the moment they're handed over to the moment that they get up on that stage. It's a wonderful experience. It doesn't mean they're going to be a world champion the following year. It's just something in the memory bank to say, look, I've been there, I've touched that stage, I want a bit of that. Because it's huge. It is huge. So it's just, you know, those 2 boys there, for instance, they were both at the development tour this weekend. And I spoke to both of them. And, you know, it's something they'll never forget. Never forget.
I suppose the ultimate icing on the cake with the cherry would be one day one of your lads win the PDC World Championship, and they've come through from day one with you to the ultimate goal, holding the holy grail of darts. Yes, I think that's what we always set out to achieve. I mean, the first achievement was, you know, can we produce a champion of sorts? So the first world champion, junior world champion. But can we go that stage further and win a pro tour, win a televised event? Can one of our guys win a world championship? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the holy grail. Obviously, we spoke about the nice side of darts, what everyone sees, but being director of operations, it's not all about the darts. We've just been into the office and your phone's been non-stop, and we touched on things like finances and that. To run this isn't cheap. What people don't know, there's a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes to make this happen for the kids. See the grey hairs. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it surprised me, to be honest. And again, one of the things I think people need to be aware of is that, yes, we've got the PDC as a huge supporter of what we do. I can't speak highly enough of them. And Michael Van Gogh in the camp, etc. But it isn't cash. It's not all about cash. There is support there. The biggest support you can get sometimes in business is just somebody to put an idea to get some advice on. And that's where these guys are helping us out, because you're right, it is 24/7. Media is everywhere, isn't it? It never stops. You know that, obviously. You know, we've got competitions all the time. Our guys are playing on other tours or on the PDC circuit. So inevitably, some part of the JDC world is happening all the time.
I get phone calls now in the middle of the night because I'm dealing with PDC Asia, or I'm JDC Asia now. I'm dealing with people in America. So yeah, even from a junior level, it just doesn't stop. But boy, is it exciting.
Obviously as well, it's not just about darts education, it's about education in general, because we see some of the top pros, let's say, not handle themselves well on things like social media. So I'm guessing as well, it's educating the kids that social media, yes, it's great, but it can also be to your downfall as well. So you have to educate them in other things other than darts.
Yeah, it's life skills is what you're getting at. It's difficult to police. That is very difficult to police. But if we have a good structure in our academies, and our coaches are there to be our ambassadors, as it were, at that level, and they're aware of the world, aren't they? They're surely the right people to be advising them. When the players start coming out onto the JDC circuit, yeah, absolutely. I go to every single JDC event, get to know the players quite well. We're very fortunate, I think, that we have got some wonderful parents out there at the minute that are guiding their children well. There are one or two that may not have that, so we are there to support that. So we have chats to them, and you know, pretty much even as a JDC, we've got contacts on Facebook and every other social media network virtually, because we need to be there. And we're finding that, you know, it is tricky. It is tricky for them, especially when they get to sort of 17, 18 years old and they're just on the cusp, you know, sort of moving into adulthood. A lot of things happen between 16 and 18, particularly with young men. The girls grow up a little quicker, don't they? So yeah, absolutely. I think the more coaches we can get, the more academies we can get, the more people involved within JDC that can just be there for them, a sounding board. That's why I go to the development tour. I'll sit there and you know, I often get the parents coming to have a chat, and you know, perhaps things haven't gone too well in part of the year, but then things do go well. So we have positives and negatives to talk about. And I think as an organisation, that's one thing we need to be there for them. Just be there for them. Again,
as Director of Operations, moving into 2019, what can we expect from the JDC moving forward? What exciting things have we got in the pipeline to, again, move it on even further?
Well, going in, offering an extra 2 places for the Worlds next year, so we're going to go to 10 events. Not only are we going to increase to 10 events, we're going to mimic the development tour. We're going to start preparing our top players to play 2 events in one day. So we've got 5 events, technically with 2 in each one, but there'll be 10 qualifiers. So that is an area of where we've often turned up to a venue, done an event in one day, and that's it. A couple of reasons really was for the it's great for the parents because they've only got to go to one event for you know, 2 events for one day, travel, etc. But also preparing them for 2 events. So for example, child gets knocked out in the first round of the first event. What do I do for the next 2 hours? Preparing them. Do they listen to music? How much do I practice? Do I eat? Do I leave the venue for 10, 15 minutes, whatever? And I think that's something I've noticed from being on the development tour, is how the guys behave themselves, you know, within that first and second tournament. So that's a different structure, but more on offer. And then that culminates obviously to our World Finals next year and the Alexandra Palace. Then we've introduced an old favourite, the Super 16. This was an event we had way back when Steve Brown Darts Academy was prevalent in Bristol and in the Midlands. We used to have like a bit of a competition to find 16 of the best players. Well, this time around we're going to do the Super 16 in 4 events. Top 4 winners and the top 4 in the order of merit together will give us 8 from the tour. We then have our academy structure, so we don't forget about our academy structure. We offer 8 places from them as well through their order of merit by shooting their targets every week. So our academy kids who may not have the ability to travel everywhere still have an opportunity to qualify for a finals. Those 16 players will meet in the December to play a finals, and then the 2 finalists will go off to Milton Keynes and play at the Masters on stage. So there's another opportunity to get kids to make a name for themselves. I want to make them famous.
Sounds very exciting.
Yes, there's a lot going on, but isn't that good? You know, there's a bit of money for them, but I think the main thing is the opportunity. And if there are some stars out there, there's a vehicle for them to come on and make a name for themselves. And if we can make a few more of those and get a few more up on stage, then let's go for it.
For any kid that hasn't got an academy near them or whatever, or your opportunity now, let them know where can they find out where their nearest things in, how they can get involved with the JDC.
Absolutely. as usual, website. Get onto our website. We've got a list of our academies on there. Facebook, we're always active on Facebook. Lots of information on there. info@juniordarts.com if you want to email us and get some information back that way. And Twitter as well. We're opening new academies next year. Stick to our website, that's where they're launched. But if anybody's in any part of the country that wants to know anything about us, info@juniordarts.com and we'll get back to you.
Darren, absolute pleasure. Thanks for having us here today.
It's been nice to have you.
It's been an absolute blast, and thank you very much.
Lovely. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Welcome to the Junior Darts Corporation. We're still here with the chairman himself, Steve Brown in Bristol. Steve, this is an amazing arena for kids to learn and play darts.
Yeah, I mean the kids. I mean for us, it's big enough so that we can show off everything that we do. Obviously, we've got the graded shirt colours on the wall and stuff, and we've got. So this is the academy room we're in now. Next door is the PDPA practice zone, and also the Green Zone Warrior Zone as well. So we zoned it all off, and sort of, pretty much we get a chance to show off everything that we do here. So.
Come a long way since 2010 when you set this Steve Brown Academy up above your dad's pub at the time, which is remarkable to think where we are now. Did you ever think it would get this far so quickly?
No, no, not at all, to be honest. The reason I started it obviously was because my son developed an interest in it. I was playing on TV quite often at the time. That seems like 20 years ago, but yeah. Yes, my son wanted to play, but I wasn't happy about him playing in a pub environment. So I decided to convert my dad's function room into like a safe area for the kids to play. And the first week, nearly 30 kids turned up. I think 28 kids turned up. But they were all pretty good. But they're all playing in their garages, in their bedrooms. And it's just like a light bulb went off. I thought then, but this must be happening all over the country. And so yeah, from that moment on, it was a bit of a light bulb moment. Yeah.
Was that quite important for you that kids have got the right environment to play in? Because obviously you and I grew up playing in the pub with our dads, granddads. Beer, cigarettes all around. It's not the right place for kids to be playing.
No, it never done me any harm. But now, in 2018 is certainly kids' welfare is paramount for us. It's the most important thing is that they're very safe, and obviously all our coaches are DBS checked and have rigorous tests to become a JDC coach anyway. But again, no, for us, obviously kids' safety is paramount, but we do take having fun quite seriously.
How did the transition from the Steve Brown Academy to the JDC happen? How did that all come about, progressing it to where you were?
At the time, obviously, when we started the Steve Brown Darts Academy, I didn't envisage it getting so big. And then before I knew it, I think we had 10 or 11 academies throughout the Royals network originally. And then it sort of get to my career, sort of after a bit of injury, my rankings nosedived, and it felt like the academy was sort of more important to me at the time than my playing career, and it almost outgrew my playing career. So for me, for the kids to continue to enjoy what we do, the grading systems and stuff, I felt like it needed a name, a more national stroke international name, rather than just my own name really. So it wasn't a vanity thing.
You touched on the grading thing there. You're the one that created the system to handicap kids so they're playing in the right level, so they weren't mismatched all the time. How did that come about? Was that a lot of thought went into it?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't overnight. It was something we worked on. But what I recognised pretty quickly was the kids that were coming to the sessions and playing, like we all learned at 501, winner stays on, etc. The kids that needed the practice often lose straight away and end up spending all night watching other people play, which isn't the correct way to learn or to keep people engaged. So it's important for me that everybody come to a session through the same amount of darts. So they all paid £2 or £3, but everybody played the same amount of darts. So I'd come out to like target practice, and then from that, based on the scores that you hit, depends on what grade you come in. And then obviously what that falls beautifully in line with is if we have a national competition, that rather than play someone of your own age, which isn't always fair, you play someone of your own ability. So it marries up quite nicely.
I was going to say, that must have taken some time for the kids to get used to as well. Like, what group am I in? How can I get to the next group? Or if you go for a bad patch, you get dropped a group as well. Yeah. So that must have taken the kids time to adapt as well. Yeah,
I mean, all the kids start on a white shirt. No matter who you are, when your first season, you're known as a white shirt. So again, but we made the transition from white to purple quite easy, really. So I'd say 90% of kids get that in their first season, so it gives them something to aim for. And if they're not the best in their class, again, this is all about self-development, self-improvement. It's not about beating the next guy, it's about improving yourself, so going up through the grades bit by bit. Some kids go from a purple to a blue to a red, you know, but not always. But we've had quite a lot of examples of people going one shirt at a time as well. So that's always rewarding because you can see, you know, see the progress.
From there as well, obviously from just the academy structure, you've now got a full-blown JDC tour. You've got your development tour, and then going on to that, discussed earlier, the Super 16 for next year. That must be exciting. You've now got a national JDC tour as well.
Yeah, I've got to pinch myself sometimes. You know, it's not. I said it's. I do actually. I get quite a bit of credit. But I've also got a great team around me. You know, Darren Barson works tirelessly for us. You know, I've got Jamie Cooper that works here at HQ 2 or 3 days a week. We've got our tournament director, Robbie Long, who works, again, tirelessly on these weekends. And for us, you know, it's a well-oiled machine now. And I think the kids really enjoy coming along. It's an enjoyable but organised day. The kids are in there at 11 o'clock in the morning, and everyone's on their way home by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's like 64 kids. So, you know, it's a well-oiled machine now. And, yeah, it's got strength to strength. As
well, on the horizon, the World Championships for the young gentlemen, we'll call them as well. Yeah. 2 lads get to play on that Alexandra Palace stage, which must be an experience and a half, and you must be looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, there's a picture there of some of the players, but it's, again, for them, it's great at the PDC again. You know, we've got a fantastic partnership with them, and the fact that they every year give us that opportunity for the kids to experience that as well is brilliant. But they don't just play on the stage; they get the treatment. So they get the walk backstage, they, you know, all the security and all the stuff. So they really put a show on for them, and it's nice to watch. I feel more nervous for them than perhaps they do on stage, but yes, it's great.
Having that great working relationship with the PDC as well must massively help yourself.
We wouldn't be here without it. That's a fact. And we are independent. You know, we're not owned by the PDC, but that's a common misconception. But we're not. We are independent, but certainly without the PDC's help, we wouldn't be here today.
As well, obviously the tours, a lot of your lads then go into the actual PDC development tour, and seeing them growing that must be nice as well. Obviously probably the standout names, Jarrod Cole, Bradley Brooks, have gone on to have great careers so far. Yeah. Must be pleased with the development, seeing them from kids into young adults now on that. Yeah, it's very satisfying, but also it sort of feels like being a head teacher at a school. It's sad to see them go, but you know they're going to be all right, you know. But it's and obviously look out for their results every weekend. But the most what I'm proud of most, I suppose, is the way that they conduct themselves as well. It's not just about them going winning games of darts and being a bit of a toe rag. They go out there and they conduct themselves in the right manner, and they're, you know, model professionals, and that's what we want to. You know, that's what we're going to provide the PDC and the BDO. They'll benefit from it as well, but they're sort of breeding decent kids as well. One thing that's talked about on social media quite a lot, and I'd like to get your opinion on it. The PDC development tour is obviously amazing, but should some of the players that play on it be allowed to? The tour card holders. Obviously, you deal with the kids here on a day-to-day basis. Do you think the likes of, obviously Dimitri's a fantastic player, but you've got Dimitri, Jeffrey Dejuan, and people like that, Martin Schindler playing on the development tour when they're playing on the full tour. Do you think that should be allowed, and do you think that stops the development of some of the kids coming through? I think that the development tour is a great concept. I do think it's flawed in some areas, that being one of them. I do think that if you've got a tour card, then you're a professional. I don't really think you need much more development. I think you're there, and it's not really fair on the players trying to make their way. It can be quite demoralising. Obviously, as a parent as well, obviously John's progressing to the development tour, and he runs into Dimitri and these guys sometimes and gets bashed up. So it's not really helping his development, or people, you know, 19, 20-year-olds. On another note as well, what I would like to see is it being 18, over 18. So I don't think there's a lot of young, impressionable kids, 16, 17. Going there, sort of not necessarily winning, but also being around the alcohol environment. I know it's not in the venue, but it's still around, just on the peripheral. So I'd like to see it, you know, over 18s really, but you know. So development tour for over 18s, and then I think anyone under 18 plays on. Yeah, your tour. I think that's I think that'd be a wise move, but again, it's not necessarily my call, but. No, it's nice to know, because obviously you're on social media a lot, reach out on social media. It's something that comes up all the time, that should these players be there, so it's nice to get your input on it more than anything. Yeah, no, I speak as a chairman of the JDC, but also as a parent, you know, more importantly. I do think that I like to see it over the age of 18, and I think it gets a bit messy as well, because obviously different kind of wristbands and stuff on the weekends, whether they're under 18 or over 18, so they can drink. And I just think it's nice to, obviously, our environment is under 18, strictly no alcohol. There's no grey area there, but I think there's a bit of a grey area on the development tour. That's fair. Obviously as well, moving forward for the JDC, I'm guessing the ultimate goal is to find a star would be amazing, but I'm guessing just for one of your lads to win a Pro Tour would be amazing.
I think that day will come, definitely. I mean, we've had some landmark moments already. Just recently, we had our first 100 average on our tour, which is, you know, is unbelievable really how far the game's gone. I think on average now, the average per dart is about 61, 62 per dart now on our tour. And if you compare that to the development tour, I think it's 72, 73. So there's not a massive gap really, in real terms. So it's going well.
That's credit to yourself that the standard is so high, because you're obviously coaching them to that great standard as well.
Well, that's not all down to us. I mean, we give these coaches the tools to go away with, and the vehicle to push it, and the opportunities for the kids. But essentially, you can see who the better coaches are, because their kids getting upgraded every season and stuff. And so it's a lot of it's down to the individual coaches as well.
Moving into 2019, where would you like to see the JDC this time next year?
Well, I mean, obviously more academies would be nice. Again, I really want to express as well, it's not just about us organically growing academies. There's schools, there's independent academies out there now. Obviously, their kids aren't getting the benefits of being associated with a JDC, which I think, again, we sort of urge anybody who's running an independent academy, don't think we're going to come and steal your work, because we're not. We're reaching out to you and saying, your independent academy can become part of the JDC family, and all your kids could benefit.
Obviously, as well, you touched on the parent aspect. Your boy is doing very well for himself. Does he get a lot of experience from you, the fact that you've had that pro career and he can pick your brain on certain things that you went through as well?
Yeah, I do. I try to give him advice. I think he's listening. I don't know, but no, he's been blessed sort of growing up around obviously darts and around the professional game. But he's also managed by Modo, so we've done a fantastic job with him. Again, a partner of JDC, and so he's surrounded by great people. And obviously he's 2 or 3 years away from making real headway, I think. But again, so I think next year we're just going to put him out of the development tour. The challenge tour, and he's not going to go to Q school. So as a dad and as a management team, we've decided that let him sort of play a bit of county darts, do a lot of opens, amateur opens, stay under the radar a bit, do the development tour, but just sort of gets confidence back. I think being on the challenge tour has knocked him a little bit. You
touched on the county circuit there. Obviously, I played county youth the same as you did. County youth doesn't seem to be what it was when we were kids. I'm just being honest with that. Yeah. Is it something the JDC could look at, was maybe bringing back the county youth in part of your system?
We've always said, we're completely independent. We want to work with everybody. I do think there is a landscape to be made, if I'm honest. I think having a new board at the BDO, I think it's a great opportunity for them to really sort of knuckle down on what they're good at. I mean, their core product is the average working man. I think they should concentrate on that, and lady, sorry. But I think they should sort of concentrate on that. Let PC do the TV stuff. Let JDC look after the kids, and just concentrate on the working man and woman. And they've got a great product, and they've got a lot of members as well. So I think that's a great opportunity for everybody.
Again, just a bit for yourself now. Do you miss the pro game? Obviously, because a lot of people, like the casual darts fan now won't necessarily know who Steve Brown is, because obviously you weren't on TV when they were watching. So do you miss that, watching it on TV now? Do you miss thinking, can I still do it? Can I still be up there?
Yeah, I've suffered injury probably for 3 or 4, probably 4 years now. So I almost hated the game in the playing aspect. So I just didn't look forward to playing. I've just recently started playing well again, and so now I can actually say now that I do miss it, but only because I know potentially I could do it again one day. So
you said you're playing well again, and you're injury free. Mm-hmm. Are we going to get a bomber comeback then potentially?
Do you know what? Yeah, I've got the bug. Yeah, I think I will give it a go next year. I think. Yeah.
That'd be good for the JDC as well, because they can see the chairman. All right.
Yeah.
The chairman's up there doing it almost.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's a long way back, and the standards, better than it was when I was playing at best. But yeah, I believe in myself, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But there's definitely an undercurrent somewhere, and now I can actually throw a dart straight without any pain. There's a chance.
Steve, absolute pleasure. Thanks for sitting down with us, and thanks for the invite here today. It's been absolutely amazing. Pleasure
having you, mate. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Cheers.